Hello and welcome to this episode.
Take two.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Podcast Recast, the podcast where we
recast your favorite movies. This week is episode 4, and we will be recasting
Indiana Jones.
One of
trilogy.
my favorite movies. Yes, the trilogy, because there are only really 3 movies.
And there was
No. There are 3. There were 3
and
movies.
the TV series in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who didn't want to forget that one?
So I've just gone on IMDb in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you've got the cast. You got Paul Freeman as Dr. Renee Belloc and Karen Allen, and Harrison Ford is literally just listed as Indy. It's not even Indiana, just Indy.
Just Indy. That's who he is.
I love that. It's not even Indiana. It's just Indy.
Everyone knows Indy.
Perhaps.
Indy's the dog.
Indy's
the dog.
Indy is the dog. Right, so who have we got first of all?
Right, so for casting for Indiana Jones, we are going to go obviously for Indy himself. We are going to do Marion as the female lead. She, in my opinion, she was the only good strong female in the Indy movies. Then we are doing Short Round because you can't do Indy.
He's who you
Short
think
Round.
of when you think of the second one, Temple of Doom.
I mean, he just is Indy's sidekick. He's just so memorable. He was only in that one movie, but boy, oh boy, you remember him straight away.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time for love, Dr. Jones. And then we are doing...
Papa Indy.
Daddy Indy.
Henry Jones. And also, I'm going to cast Marcus as well, because I think I've got a great Marcus.
Okay, you go for Marcus. I'm going to abstain from Marcus.
Yeah, abstaining from Marcus.
Well, no, I'll just do Andy Serkis in a...
What do you think about the idea of an Indiana Jones 5, by the way? Because that is in production.
Yeah, well, so this is obviously, we're looking at who we're going to cast, and I didn't want to do anything too obvious. So obviously Disney's front runner for Indy has been Chris Pratt, and for obvious reasons, he's a heavily bankable star right now. He's got the look, he's got the anti-hero, he's got everything about him that could be Harrison Ford-esque. He already played that kind of adventure man in, Jurassic World, and he pulls it off. You believe him, and I could believe him as an Indy. You know what? I don't think it's a bad decision. It's an obvious decision.
It's very obvious. It's very obvious.
So we're gonna. I'm gonna stray from that for this episode.
Absolutely, and no casting Andy Serkis either.
Well, the thing is, Andy Serkis once again is an easy option for any choice because he just is the right choice for every single part ever.
And the rules, we didn't really go over the rules, but just
for new people. You're just breaking everything today. We're getting so much vibration.
Right, okay, I'll stop moving the chair. I'll stop. Right, should we go over the rules though first?
So the rules are: we recast the main characters of a movie as though the film were being made today. We are allowed a time machine card, which allows us to age or make younger any actor to make them fit the role as we see.
Or bring back from the dead. It's funny you mentioned that, actually. I was thinking of bringing back someone from the dead. We might be thinking of the same person. We weren't, because the person I was thinking of turned out still alive.
Nice one. Okay. All right. Well,
the other thing as well is we're not allowed to use any of the original cast.
Of course, yes. No original cast.
Well, there goes my idea of Papa Indy being played by not Sean Connery. He played the original by old Harrison Ford. Sorry, what do you think?
Yeah, that would be a terrible idea. Gotta change that one.
What are your views on the 5th Indiana Jones?
Okay, 15 Indy. It's a tough one because when Spielberg aced, obviously, okay, we won't pretend the 4th one doesn't exist, but in my opinion, that isn't really an Indiana Jones movie. It has none of the heart, none of the soul of an Indy. I mean, Aliens, what? It really just went off on one. And I know, people say there's, obviously there's supernatural stuff in every single Indiana Jones movie. There is, but the supernatural element only really comes at the very end. You feel that there's something grounded in reality, and it's more mystical, exactly. It's less sci-fi, and obviously the 4th one, it was aliens, and aliens are just so sci-fi, and from the very beginning of the movie, there's a lot of this kind of, that Roswell stuff, Area 51 kind of crap, where it's kind of, kind of alien music, and
it doesn't fit
It doesn't
Indiana
fit
Jones.
the ethos.
I didn't like about it as well. Well, there's lots of things I know you can go into all sorts, but for me, the Carter is that I love him, but they shouldn't have brought back old Harrison Ford because they then were forced to set it in the 50s, and I love Harrison Ford. Yeah. If they were going to bring him back, then de-age him, do the old and do it, but do it well.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I think had they recast Indy, there would be even more of an upset. I think now, he's still pulling off Han Solo. I mean, let's not forget, he's still, and you know what? Even though he was 60 or something when he did Indy 4, I think he pulled it off. Yes, he was older, but I found it credible. I believed him still as, an able-bodied Indy. What I didn't like, though, is the obvious setup with Shia LaBeouf as his son, that supposedly, Spielberg has this, he loves Shia LaBeouf. They had this kind of, relationship of mentor, whatever it is. And I could not ever imagine Shia LaBeouf as Indy, and I would outright refuse to see him any movie that casts him as Indy. It just isn't right.
So you just remind me, actually. Sorry, just to make a quick call. I don't know if you've been following this. No, keep right. Right, I'm just I'm just calling Shia LaBeouf now. Oh, he's engaged.
Ah, damn.
Have you seen this? Right. Actor Shia LaBeouf has launched, who of course we cast as Doc Brown, has launched his latest public performance artwork in Liverpool, asking members of the public to phone him and touch his soul. And there's numbers listed on there. It's not even a paid, it's a regular number. And he was going to be at his desk between 11 and 6 from Thursday to Sunday. And you can call up Shia LaBeouf and have a chat with him.
We will try again at the end of this episode.
How about that? I'm not going to lie, but I have called him like 20 times.
Did you get through?
Not a single time. And there's two other people as well that are doing it with him who are a bit
21st time lucky.
But I don't think... it's Finnish artist Nashka Seid-Ronko and Briton Luke Turner. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to get a hold of one of the other ones, but all you want to get a hold of is Shia LaBeouf.
Well, that's it. Was this other art installation he did where he was just sitting in a room and you could go into the room and do anything with him, and that one woman, allegedly raped him, and that there was a whole court case where he wanted to sue this woman for raping him.
Did Shia LaBeouf get that?
Yes.
I know that he did that. I didn't know that he got...
Yeah. Well, there was this whole thing. Because apparently he was sitting there. So the idea is you go in and it's a kind of, performance art. And he just sits there and he doesn't do anything. So you can scream at him. The idea is you go in, you can maybe push him or even, slap him or whatever it is. Or just sit there and stare him in the eyes. And one woman went in there and sexually abused him. And that's
not funny. That's awful.
Wait. The crazy thing is, I mean, this is the slightly weird point is that he didn't do anything about it. He was so into the art. He was so into the performance side of it that he just sat there and took it.
Yesterday,
but then
said tomorrow.
He
just do it. Make
get
your
her done for
dreams
rape.
Come
But
true.
I don't know if that's fair.
It.
If he wants to complain about it, then surely you got to do something about it.
Did he say no? He didn't say anything.
I don't think he can say anything. I don't think can. I don't think he was supposed to say anything as part of this installment.
But anyway, we're not going to do any recast of the fourth one because it's crap.
Yeah.
Simple as.
But the fifth one, you know what? If you, because this is what you asked me before we went off on a tangent. The fifth one, it would have to be either a reboot, or it can still be in that world of Indy, but the mantle of Indy is taken by someone else, and not Shia LaBeouf.
Not Shia.
Right.
They've got to take it back to the roots as well. Do it in Egypt.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into recasting Indiana Jones.
Right. Should we start with Indy this time? You want to start with Indy?
No.
Okay, right. We won't start with Indy. Right. Should we start with? Who do you want to start with?
Right. Let's start with Marion.
All right. I'm using a time machine on the absolute get-go.
Okay, go for it.
All right. I've actually forgotten her name. Monica from Friends.
Okay, Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox. That's it. Courtney Cox.
Oh,
I think
they're very, very. Yeah, I mean, instantly, obviously, they look very similar, don't they? They're very striking eyes, very kind of fine facial features. Yeah.
I think she could bring the slight comedy element that you have with Marion.
Yeah.
The thing she's going to struggle with but I think she could probably pull it off, is the slightly spunky element, where, you know, she's sort of out drinking the people in the bar. Because that's what's always quite cool about her. She's almost like the...
I love Marion. She's so cool. So cool. Only one who gives so much lip and attitude back to Indy and like kind of is his, you know... You can see why she comes
Indy
back.
his bitch. Her bitch.
Yeah, she does, and that's why she comes back. I mean, you know, the one good choice about Indy 4 was her bringing her back.
Yeah.
You know, she was great. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good cast. And so is that it? Yeah,
that's
cool.
my time machine on her.
I have gone. So wait, okay, when you Karen Allen played Marion in Raiders, and when you look at her, the thing you mentioned about why you mentioned Courtney Cox, and I think I noticed about Marion first is her striking eyes, right? She's got stunning eyes, and she's got attitude. She can give Indy the attitude. She can lay it on, and he just has to take it. There's a young actress who I think has also stunning eyes. She's very beautiful, but I think she's got some attitude. Cara Delevingne, she's a model.
Oh, eyebrows.
Eyebrows. She's got very striking features. She's beautiful, but and she's breaking into acting now in a big way. And I think she would do a great Marion, because actually there's a trailer for a movie she's in right now. It's called Paper Towns.
And she's in the Suicide Squad as well, isn't she?
Is she?
Yeah, she's in Suicide Squad. I swear she is.
Maybe, but in Paper Towns, she plays this kind of rebel character, rebel without a cause, girl with attitude, the one who kind of just lives life to the fullest, who really goes for it. And I saw a spark of Marion in her there. So I really think, and we wouldn't have to age her or anything, I think she's age appropriate for the role, and I think she could play also a bit of a kind of spunky action hero kind of character as well. And I think that would be a really fun cast for Marion, while still keeping that kind of really striking eyes and that beauty.
I see it, because you need the striking eyes, that beauty, and also the thing about in Raiders of the Lost Ark with Indy and Marion, I do feel that if they had stayed together in 10 years' time, Indy would be well under the thumb. Like, he would be so under the thumb.
He would. He'd be the housewife.
Yeah.
He would. Absolutely. Well, that's why he had to get out of there.
Yeah.
We'd lose Indy.
Yeah.
But I think maybe with a Cara Delevingne type character, she could be Indy's equal. They could go on adventures together.
I like that. I think that's a stronger than a time machined Monica from Friends.
Okay, so
I like that.
we
I
go
like
for
that.
Cara
We go
Delevingne
for that.
then.
Yeah,
All right.
she is in Suicide Squad. She's playing the Enchantress.
Oh,
And she's the one that looks all muddy in the trailer.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the crazy
Alright,
mud
cool.
lady.
So for Marion,
I have no clue.
we've got what's her name? Cara Delevingne.
Yeah. Okay. I've written it down.
Oh, cool.
We can hear every single thing. Okay. Next.
Short round.
Unforgettable short round.
I love short round.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, it's great. Love short round.
Okay. So, you want to go for it, or shall I?
Well, it depends on the indie movie. That's the thing. Because I have got an interesting choice that I think...
So I'm curious, how have you gone about recasting Short Round? Because Short Round, for me, is more of this sidekick rather than the character himself. So I've gone for not a typical... He's not Korean. The actor, I forget his name now. Anyway, he was Korean, and in the movie, obviously, he's Chinese. But I haven't gone for that.
I'm going for a seriously left field choice of this.
Oh God!
I genuinely
me.
think it could work. Right, you need sort of a psychic for Indiana Jones, a slight bit of comedy relief, someone that's always there, and right, okay.
Just hit me.
I've gone for Coco the gorilla.
What the fuck?
Right.
Come on, man. What the hell? This show is just getting out of hand.
I just thought, right, because Coco the gorilla, right, can sign. Sorry, I'm just going to see too much basically. He just looked at me like, are you serious? I thought this was your joke answer. Right. I just generally thought it might be quite interesting having that sort of, because he's an archaeologist, he's an adventurer, maybe have it, yeah, it's not going to work, is it?
Hey, you know what? Like, it's growing on me. I mean... it's not a short round, but it's the
It's the
animal sidekick. And it could work if a really well trained gorilla or chimpanzee adds that kind of adventure jungle element to
like
it.
Nim, who can sign and Indy can sign back.
Yeah,
like
and there could be some
R2-D2
great comedy
in Star Wars because there's he's a beeping and
there is a
booping.
bit of that. There is a bit of that. It definitely brings a different quality to it. It hasn't been done before, and yet actually, the strange thing is that feels very indie
without the monkey in Raiders.
Yeah,
because obviously we're recasting a fictional.
but as an
Indiana Jones
actual,
film.
as an actual character in the movie, like an actual, supporting role. You know what? It could. As this kind of the really cheeky, really smart animal who's there to just get Indy out of those tight situations.
I can get away with murder because they are an animal.
Yeah, just play this dumb. It kind of reminds me of that scene in was it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? Where the angry gorilla comes out and he just plays dumb and he's like, and he grabs his gun. He acts like he doesn't know how to use it and then just bam, he just screws him. Yeah, I actually really like that. That's a really interesting choice.
Maybe not Coco the gorilla because gorilla is quite a big thing, but maybe like a signing chimpanzee. I just think that could be quite an interesting sidekick.
I'm feeling an orangutan for some reason. I think orangutans are grossly underrepresented in cinema. I think this is a big issue.
We've had chimpanzees. We've had
macaques. We've had gorilla movies. Hell, they have King Kong. Who do orangutans have, Ali?
Dr. Zaius.
I don't even know who that is.
Dr. Zaius? He's from Planet of the Apes. He's the one that experiments on all the people.
Yeah, but that's Planet of the Apes. They have all kinds of apes there. Where are orangutans? I think it needs to be an orangutan.
All right, so scrap my scrap Coco. We've got
but I like your
gorilla.
animal angle, your animal psychic
I just thought,
angle.
if it's a fictional one, maybe it's Indy in the Congo, King Solomon's Mines or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it is King Solomon's Mines. Maybe that's the story. That feels so much more indie to me than an alien story. There needs to be jungles, and I know there were jungles. And you know what? The most indie thing about number 4 was the Aztec vibe, and that I was totally loving that. And as soon as the aliens came in, the stupid music and the Russians, and I was gone.
So we got Cara Delevingne as our Indian.
Wait, I haven't said my short rounds though.
Okay, all right.
So mine are a bit more on kind of the human angle, but both. I'm going to use a time machine. I've got two ideas. You tell me which. But using time machine. First one is Ryan Lee. He played the pyromaniac in Super 8, the kid with the fireworks, and he's always trying to blow up crap.
That kid. Yeah, he looks pretty cheeky.
And he was in the Sia music video, Titanium. Was it Titanium? Either way, he was in one of the Sia music videos. And he's got those goofy kind of buck teeth, and he's a bit loopy. And in Super 8,
loopy's the best way to describe him.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought he'd make a great fun sidekick. He's a bit old now. He's like 17 or something.
Yeah.
But take him back to Super 8, and he would be an interesting sidekick. Like this crazy kid who's got attitude, who's not afraid of doing anything, and has always got a pack of explosives on him somewhere. Who's always can solve a situation. That feels very short round to me. And then the other one, and I think you'll like this one, is Rico Rodriguez, who plays Manny in Modern Family.
Oh yeah.
But obviously he's 17 now. He's a bit older, so I would make him about as young as when he first started Modern Family. Just because he's just having this kind of like, he could totally do a version of Short Round. This kind of really cocky, really well spoken, Hispanic.
I've just googled him, and the first thing that comes up is that kid from Up.
And isn't he? I mean, that kid from Up is effectively Short Round.
Yeah, the sidekick.
Right? So those are my two approaches. I think they're both good, but I really like this animal approach. So we'll go for an orangutan.
I think we'll go for a signing orangutan.
Yeah.
I think because this is our fictional indie film that we're redoing. I think something like Indy in the Congo with King Solomon's Mines. I think it should be our sort of loose.
This is we're almost rebooting the movie rather than recast.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is podcast reboot today. We're rebooting Indy.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
We've got a Marion or other name for the So I like that. So he's got his signing orangutan, but you don't get orangutans in Africa.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be King Solomon's Mines.
All right.
Or hey, who knows? Maybe this orangutan was imported from Borneo.
Boom. There, our problem solved.
There you
That could be a
So-
funny scene when the orangutan sees some chimpanzees.
Yeah, and he's like, what the hell?
Cool. Right.
Dark furred creatures. Indy's dad.
Indy's dad. Right. I had a really.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I actually did put Harrison Ford down on my paper. So when
Harrison
you,
Ford down.
when you put that, made that comment, you destroyed my cast. So I'm gonna have to think of one on the spot.
All right. When they did, why do they cast Sean Connery as the dad? Because Sean Connery is so good as the dad.
Because he's a miserable, grumpy old man, and so is Harrison Ford.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I buy that. But he's already been Indy, so we can't use him.
But he wouldn't be.
The reason they cast him though, that wasn't it. They cast him because he's James Bond, and they were originally looking to do a Bond film when they just came up with the idea of doing Indy together. So that's part of the reason they said, well, we're going to get Sean Connery, James Bond to be Indy's dad.
Is that really why?
Yeah. Well, it's on the DVD thing. They say, yeah,
Okay.
we'll get it. So on that basis,
But Henry doesn't feel like. No, Henry is Indy. What is? Oh no, they're both Henry. That's why Junior. He's Junior.
Yeah,
Henry
he's
Jones Junior. Yes. So yeah, no.
so to play Henry Jones Senior, I picked Roger Moore because of that Bond angle, and I think that could work very well. Roger Moore.
Today.
Because Roger Moore is Sean Connery is obviously a very grumpy old man.
Roger Moore.
Roger
I'm
Moore's
worried
quite a
Roger
happy
Moore
old
is
man.
too camp.
But I think using an old Bond would be quite a good fit.
We'll go for it. I think your approach as to why you cast him for that is good. I like it. And I'm looking at some photos of him now. I think if he really toned down his campy camp and went for a bit more of the grumpy grump.
Yeah, I definitely do think he can do it, especially like when you see photos of him in 2015.
Yeah. Signed.
Yeah. Signed?
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Brilliant, excellent. I got on the phone to his agent. Right, should we go? Oh yeah, obviously for playing Marcus, I put Boris Johnson. I thought that was fantastic. Does anybody here speak English? I feel that's uncontested. And it was, yeah.
Okay, we're going to
excellent.
go for, now,
Right,
the final cast.
which is who we're going to get to
Indiana
play?
Jones.
Indiana Jones. Right, do you want to go first?
So I went through quite a process to find my indie. So like we talked about before, I thought about, the first thing that came to mind was Chris Pratt, and then even
love
Chris
this ones.
Pine, and I was just like, well, yeah, they're cool guys, but they're obvious choices, and they're already the front runners for the role. And then I was thinking, who has got a bit of Harrison Ford's grumpiness? Because I think an indie needs to have this kind of, he needs to be charming, yes, he needs to have that sultry voice, sultry voice, and he needs to be a bit grumpy, good looking though, and an adventure man. And I was just like, you know what, Clint Eastwood.
A time machine Clint Eastwood.
But I've used my time machine, and then I was like, how can I go around that? Scott Eastwood. Have you seen his son?
No.
Who's an actor? Spitting Image has...
Wow, he does look like...
Yeah, and he looks great. Then I watched some performances of Scott Eastwood, and he doesn't have his dad's voice. He doesn't have that gravelly thing to his voice, and he just sounds too all-American.
Yeah.
He sounds too young, all-American, fresh. Even though he's recently acted in a Western movie, trying to really following, obviously, carrying the spirit of his dad through. It doesn't work. He doesn't have what Clint has. So then I went looking around a bit, and who? And I just had a flash in my head from the movie On the Road. And I don't know why that movie conjured in my head, but do you know Garrett Hedlund?
Yeah.
The guy who was in Tron, he was in On the Road, in Unbroken, but more recently, and here is why, Pan. He plays Hook in Pan. Now, watch a trailer for that movie, or if you've already seen the movie, the Hook they've made in Pan is Indiana Jones. It's Indy. Straight up. He's got the hat, he's got the waist jacket, he looks like Adventure Man. Then you watch him do the performance. You look at him. Look at this image. Straight up, look at this.
Okay, yeah.
Is that not Indiana Jones? And then I listen to his voice. He has got the sultry voice. He's got it. And he's got that weird eyebrow twist that makes him look a bit, confused, a bit angry. There's something going on in his head.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've just looked at the shot.
And he's got
of
the
him.
charming smile. He is carrying the spirit of Indiana Jones, especially in the role of Pan. And he's definitely a bankable action hero star. He can definitely pull off young Indy. Because actually, and this is the thing, he actually, I think, looks a bit like a young Harrison Ford, but actually, he actually looks like River Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know?
He does look like River Phoenix. That's a really, really good choice. That's a really good choice.
So, my Indiana Jones has to be Garrett Hedlund.
I've just, as well, flipping through some images, the first thing that appeared now is a gif of him getting punched in the face.
Yeah, Indy's got to take a punch.
When Indy
He
takes
has
a punch,
to take a punch. Didn't you say Harrison Ford? He knows how to take a punch.
Yeah, Harrison Ford knows how to take a punch. No, that's really cool. I was really pleased with my Indy actually, but I think this guy is very good. The guy that I went for with Indy, I did think about it quite a bit. I kept coming back to this guy. Was Stephen Amell from Arrow.
What? Who plays Arrow?
The guy that plays Oliver Queen in that.
Oh, he's such a bad actor.
Do you think?
He's a terrible actor. He's a terrible actor. Oh, he looks good, but damn, he's bad.
But I think if he, because he's a really fun guy.
Yeah, he's fun, and he's got physical. He's very physical. He does all the parkour stuff.
I think you could pull off the fun side of things, but you're right. You need that slight grumpiness that you need to have.
The grump.
I'm not even gonna fight more of my case for Stephen Amell because I think that is, I think that's
great.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Cool. Okay, so that
for our fictional Indiana Jones film.
Okay, so for Marion we did Cara Delevingne.
And she'd work well with Garrett Hedlund as well.
That's another reason why I picked them. The chemistry they'd have, I bet they would have amazing chemistry. They've never performed together, but I see that. So Cara Delevingne, she's got the eyes, she's got the rebel attitude. You see that in her recent movie Paper Towns. Then Short Round. And I think when you said left field, I was expecting more of a kind of what I went for, kind of Hispanic. But you went full left field, so left field it was almost right field. Animal sidekick, I love it. And we said an orangutan.
If done well, because if done well, like Planet of the Apes style, if it was done well, obviously.
Okay, so, oh my god, I know exactly who we're casting to play the orangutan.
I know exactly who we're casting as well, but we can't use him, so we have to use.
No. This has to happen. No. His entire career has built to this moment.
No, we cannot. We cannot use Andy Serkis. That's one of the rules.
Okay. Well, then it's a well-trained orangutan.
I think it's a live-action orangutan.
It has to be live-action orangutan. I think there would be strikes in the zoos. There would be, it's like when Peter Jackson didn't cast any dwarves as dwarves. Yeah. In The Hobbit. It's a similar thing. Orangutans should take those roles, and we should make sure that they're well paid under equity law. Yep.
Well, it'd be one of those things where it goes to saving orangutans in Borneo. Yeah. But I think if they could sign, it's an R2D2. It is. I just thought it'd be a bit unusual.
I love it.
Very left field, but yeah.
Next we have Henry Jones Sr.,
which is old Roger Moore.
Yeah.
And Marcus obviously is Boris
Johnson.
And then our Indiana Jones or Henry Jones Jr.
Garrett Hedlund.
I like that.
I think this is cool. I think this could be fun. This could be a fun and the story. I think we talked about something maybe like in the Congo. something
Or
King
Borneo.
Solomon's Mines, maybe Borneo, something really that feels indie.
Or like, no, Angkor Wat. And so that sort of Far East, Southeast Asia thing, because you got the temples in Angkor Wat.
Yeah, well, you know, actually, Far East Asia hasn't really been done in India at all. But there is something very ancient and mystical with history there. There's a lot going on there. That would be a perfect setting for an indie
Indiana,
movie.
because that's like a temple in the ruins. That's
Do you know what? There was a great story in the news relatively recently that I thought would make a great indie tale, or at least the premise for an indie tale. There was this guy searching for these supposedly buried Spitfires from World War II, somewhere hidden in, I can't remember where. But this guy went on a quest, self-funded from his millions, to go search for these apparently perfectly maintained Spitfire planes that put in giant metal canisters, buried, really, really deep underground. And it was just this great premise. Maybe it isn't Spitfires he's looking for. Maybe it's something else, or maybe it is. Maybe it's indie set in modern times, or we said as if it was being cast today, or I don't know. Maybe that's a discussion for another time.
So you just reminded me. Actually, I've just got to call Sheila Booth again.
All right, we're gonna give Sheila Buff another call. Just bear with us.
See if he answers this time. I did have a missed call, but it's not.
So
from
what are
Sheila
we
Booth.
what are we telling him? Yeah, it's busy.
Fuck, I'm dying again. Come on, Sheila.
One more time. Third time lucky? No. All right.
You just
Maybe
literally
he'll
got
call
to
us back. Maybe
You
he'll call
literally got
us
to hit redial, hit constantly hit redial. No, you've got a good Indiana Jones cast
back.
here.
I reckon he'd be good.
I'm pleased I'm not the casting director. When there's much better ideas out there, but yeah.
I'm happy with this one. I think this could be really fun. Great.
But it's all wrong though, because first of all, you got an orangutan in it.
Which is wrong at the end of the day.
An orangutan, you can't actually have an actual orangutan when Andy Serkis is still alive, so he's going to be played
and
by.
with technology these days, who needs flesh? Human actors. It's a bit redundant, really, isn't it? It's just stupid.
And yeah,
Get with the times, people.
there's a really versatile actor out there who can probably play all of the. Do you know what? I think Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
If he's
Andy
wearing a morph
Serkis,
suit,
it's not a morph suit. It's a motion capture
a
suit.
motion capture
Morph suit is just one of those really tight suits. Green Man from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's a morph suit.
So
Motion capture suit. Yes. Yeah. That's it. That's the answer. for
Andy
every
Serkis in a
role.
morph suit. Well, thank you very much for listening, guys. If
Thanks.
you've got an opinion on how wrong we are, please let us know.
Let us know. Vent. Tell us how shit our choices are. Comment on the Facebook page.
Comment on the YouTube page.
And of course, if as usual, if you are an eccentric millionaire,
Oh,
need web
that's
space.
marked up, by the way. So
Is
we're
it not?
yeah, that's marked up at the moment. So we're waiting for another sponsor.
well, if you're an eccentric millionaire and you want to donate lots of money to us, please do so we can continue.
And follow. Do you want to plug your Twitter feed?
Let's plug the Twitter. No, I don't want to plug my Twitter right now. I don't have a valuable Twitter.
Well, I'm going to plug. I am. Just repeat that last bit. I am at Ali Patterson. I don't actually follow you on Twitter, G-Man, because I haven't been able to spell your surname. So, people out there, if you're able to find G-Man, follow him. But I don't follow him because he's got a stupidly hard to type surname.
I think I need to make a new Twitter account where my handle's a lot easier. It's G Borkataria. Creative. Right.
So yeah, cool. Well, thanks for listening. And let us know what other films you want us to do.
Please let us know what you should be doing in the future. Take care.